first will be Katie Stuckey, financial forecast and funding.
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to say that President Boso, I'm glad that you brought up the issue of a levy because that's part of what I'm here to speak about tonight. I'm Katie Stuckey. I am both a resident and a product of Southwestern City Schools. Actually, I'm a product of the levy era, as I like to call it, having narrowly escaped split sessions by 1 year, but still having to endure one failed levy after another. I'm here because when I was a student, I said that when I was old enough to vote, I would speak up for those who weren't. So I'm here for them. It was 2004, and there had been a crucial levy on the ballot, and it had failed. Adding insult to injury, there had also been a Columbus Zoo levy on the ballot at the same time. That one passed. Let me tell you how it felt to be a student in that situation. To how it felt to see people celebrating what came as a blow to my education, to be trying so hard to do everything asked of me, only to feel completely unsupported by my community. Even then, Ohio's school funding formula had been declared unconstitutional, and yet, in 20 years, no one has lifted a finger to fix it. The cost of funding schools was never supposed to fall on property owners, but with the state making drastic and irresponsible cuts, much like they are doing today, the districts are left with no choice but to appeal to voters. After that night, I got involved in the levy effort. It took 2 more attempts to pass a levy that year, and the rhetoric was awful. I had doors slammed in my face by adults who swore they would never vote for a levy. They blamed us, our teachers, our administrators. The only people they didn't blame were those legislators who had been complicit in the chronic underfunding of public education. I was lucky enough to graduate with honors that would not have been possible had my accelerated classes been cut, as proposed by one budget. But the district continued to struggle financially for 4 more years before finally passing the most recent levy all the way back in 2009. When I became involved again as an adult, the first thing I mentioned to the board members I met was how it felt to be a student during those years. I made sure to tell them how deeply I appreciated the careful financial management that had kept us off the ballot longer than anticipated, and what a difference that was going to make to students. It was a point of pride for the district. I think we all hoped that someday, when we did eventually have to pass another levy, the community would remember this era of fiscal responsibility that had allowed us to avoid it for so long. That era ended 2 years ago. In that time, the board seems to have reversed course and squandered the good favor earned with the community. Board members claim that they are actually saving the district money, but refuse to point to where and how this is happening. Meanwhile, we know that this board has spent hundreds of thousands of additional dollars between hiring their own personal attorney, joining far-right fringe school board organizations, and turning a qualified superintendent into a political scapegoat. Now, when people eventually walk into that voting booth, that's what's going to be freshest in their minds. Not the preceding 14 years of very careful financial management meant to avoid exactly that situation. This community will not pass a levy easily. If the voters don't trust the Board of Education, it will fail, there will be cuts, and those cuts will hurt. But they won't hurt you, and they won't hurt the legislators that cut our funding. They will hurt the kids, and I know exactly how they're gonna feel, and it is awful. But it's not too late to change the narrative and become good stewards of public funds. In fact, it's your responsibility as public school members, board members. This means having a dedicated and active legislative liaison who contacts lawmakers regularly and pushes for the changes that our kids deserve and keeps the public apprised of new developments. It means supporting public funds for public schools. It means that the 3 or 4 of you who are currently being advised advised by the overpriced activist attorney, need to find a way to do your jobs using the experience and legal representation. These are the things you must do now to put students first. And to the community, the voters, please consider this. Waiting until the district is in dire straits and voting down a levy will hurt the kids. If it's this board that we seek to impact, November's school board election is our chance to do that.
Rescinding policy.